Howdy, rancheroos! Welcome to this episode of How to Draw Dino Ranch. Today we're showing you how to draw the ranch's dino doctor, Clover. Grab a pencil, eraser, and a piece of paper, and let's ride! Let's start with the neck. Clover is a brontosaurus, and if there's one thing we know about brontosaurs, it's that they have long necks. 6 times longer than a giraffe's. But we don't need to draw all 15 meters. We'll just start with 2 long lines beside each other. They don't need to be perfectly straight. Next, do a big open circle for Clover's head, leaving space for his nose. Notice there's a little curve at the bottom of his head where the circle connects to the neck. That makes the circle and the line connect to each other more smoothly. Clover is the most loving dino on Dino Ranch, so for his nose, make it a nice round C shape. Round shapes make a character look friendlier. See how the bottom line curves up? That'll be Clover's smile. All you have to do is put a small curved line at the end of it, which helps show the smile. You should now have an empty spot between Clover's nose and his neck. If you make one more curved line to close that space, you'll have his chin. You can line up the start of his chin with the line you made for his head and end just a bit past the line for his neck. And see? Now you've got a sweet Clover smile. Now the next part is a bit tricky, but remember, if you draw a line and you don't think it looks right, you can erase it and try again. Or if you use pen, use whiteout over it. Or just start over with a new piece of paper. We all know Clover can be a bit clumsy sometimes, so we don't mind if you need to take a few tries to draw him. Mistakes are how you learn. Right above that little line you made at the end of Clover's smile, on the right side of his head, draw a circle for his eye. Then, draw a smaller circle in the middle of it. That will be his pupil. See? I'm taking a few tries to get it just right. The eyes are the most important part. We want them nice and friendly. And how do we do that? That's right, big round shapes. Last for the eye, you'll add what we call a highlight. You'll make one more smaller circle inside the eye, but this time, have it touch the top right-hand side of the pupil. You should end up with a little moon shape on the pupil's left side, and you can color that in with black. See how the highlight makes it look like light is reflecting off his eye? Then, above the eye, draw a shape like a sideways watermelon seed for Clover's eyebrow, round on one end and pointed on the other. Real brontosauruses don't have eyebrows, but when you draw an animal character, like dinosaurs, eyebrows help show their emotions. If you wanted to make your Clover look extra happy, or a little sad, or even mad, all you have to do is change how you draw his eyebrows. Try for yourself and see. Next, you'll draw Clover's other eye on the left-hand side of his head. You can start with his eyebrow again. Make a shape like a sideways watermelon seed, but facing the other way. The round end should be pointed toward the other eyebrow. Underneath the eyebrow you drew, draw his other eye. It'll look exactly like the other eye you drew, but you need to hide part of it behind Clover's nose. That helps make him look like he's popping right off the page, ready to giddy up and go. You're almost done his face. Just add 2 black dots to his nose for his nostrils, right underneath the left eye you just drew. You don't need to make them too big. I like to imagine them as 2 little beans. Now that you're done his face, take a good look at your drawing and see if there's anything you want to fix. Use your eraser to clean up those parts of the drawing. You can even take another piece of paper, put it on top of your first drawing, and trace over the lines you made. I'm using a computer program called Photoshop right now, which makes it really easy for me to erase my mistakes. The last thing to do is add the tiny details. Clover has little tufts of hair on top of his head, but because we're drawing him at an angle, you only need to draw 2 of them. Just add 2 half circles to the top of his head, closer to the back of his head than the front. Now, we don't want to draw Clover's entire body today. Did you know brontosaurs weigh 40 tons? That's a lot to draw. But we can't just leave Clover floating in the middle of a page. The most simple way to finish this drawing is to make a circular border around his head, starting it behind his head, then making it go in front of his neck. That makes it look like he's poking his head right out of the frame. Big circles can be really hard to draw, but this border can be any shape you want it to be. A square, a triangle, or even a Dino Ranch star. Now, if you put a few lines above his head, it makes the drawing a bit more exciting and lively. You see lines like this in comic books a lot. They're simple but add a lot of personality. All that's left is to color Clover in. Nobody knows what color real-life brontosaurs were, but our buddy Clover is green. I'm gonna color my border red, but you can color yours any way you'd like. You can even make Clover a different color if you want. Imagine a red Clover or a pink Clover. You could draw Clover in every color of the rainbow. And that's it, Rancheroo. You've just finished drawing Clover. And according to his dino diagnosis, you did a great job. Join us next time for another episode of How to Draw a Dino Ranch.